listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Orange is the New Black After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Orange is the New Black After Show.
The animal, trap, 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 till the cage is full. The cage is full, the day is new, and everything waiting on you. You got time.
Congratulations for making it to the season finale of Netflix original series Orange is the New Black. Bing is for doing, and that's what we're doing. We're doing the finale called Can't Fix Crazy. So, I'm your host, Thaddeus Massey, and joining me today is...
Hi guys, Emma K.
What up? I'm Megan Thomas.
How's it going, guys? I'm Scott Moore.
Okay, guys, so after Buzzers, we're going to start this episode off by just apologizing to you guys and really from the bottom of my heart for jumping ahead in the notes for last week's episode. And there were a few things that we said happened last week that happened this week.
Yeah, so spoiler alert.
Thaddeus did.
Spoiler alert.
So I jumped ahead and we discussed Alex and... No, I'm sorry. We discussed Larry breaking up with Piper, or actually
meeting with Alex.
Meeting with Alex. And we also discussed what else?
Bennett meeting with Figueroa.
Bennett meeting with Figueroa, which didn't happen until this episode. And we should do the spoiler alert, and that was my fault because I was so anxious to get to the finale.
Right.
There's so much good stuff, but I guess you can't fix our craziness either at the same time.
It was kind of difficult. I just wanted to get to it. Let's get to it.
So much good stuff.
This episode is really good though. 13. We have Christmas that has shown up. We've been through Thanksgiving a couple episodes ago. Now we're at Christmas, and they opened this episode with these Christmas pageant auditions that were epic.
Oh, they were.
You got people beatboxing. You got Crazy Eyes doing
ice skating
twirls in the air.
Oh my gosh! At first
she was good.
She was good.
So good.
And she was landing them.
Right. I was like, hold on, is she ice skating or is she
Right.
just... I said, she is. Oh my goodness. And then she held the pose. I said,
Talking about she's definitely a wasp, and her lifestyle has to, her backstory, they have to go into her backstory.
I cannot wait for that backstory next season. But yeah, what was the thing she said too afterwards when she went down to Sophia and the sister?
She said she was like, oh, you guys, are you sure you're gonna give me this part? Are you sure after what happened last year?
Right.
And I was like, oh Lord,
what did happen last year?
We find out later.
I want to know
what happened.
I would say Black Cindy with her beatboxing and rapping and beatboxing at the same time was amazing.
She was like beatboxing and like humming the melody at this. That was pretty talented.
If they combined her and Tasty together, I think that would have been amazing.
I know Tasty's a great singer.
Yeah, she is.
Tasty can sing.
She's probably the only one. Well,
but we see them in the pageant later.
Right.
That it's the three of them: Black Cindy, Tasty, and Poussey. They do their little. They open the show.
Too.
I didn't know Poussey could sing.
Poussey can sing.
Wow,
she did
girl
her thing.
can sing. I was very impressed.
She went off on the thing and she started singing Amazing Grace, which wasn't a part of
what they had planned.
what they had
program.
Planned. Right, but it actually worked and it was heartfelt and everybody can feel it, especially Piper, who ran out on that part. We'll get to that.
And I love how the Latina chicks did their little dance number together.
Right.
And what's her name? Maritza caught the... I always get their names mixed up.
It's Flocka and Maritza.
Yes, yes. So
Flocka's a taller one, Maritza is a shorter one.
So Maritza was the one that jumped into Flocka's arm. And I was like, that's funny.
Right, it was funny. And she was spanking her. She was being all ratchet. She was twerking, I guess. Doing the Miley Cyrus. Doing the Miley.
Right.
So, Red, a lot of things happen in this episode. Red loses the kitchen because of...
drugs.
Because of this drug thing that happens I guess we should probably figure out how did the drugs get found out. I guess Bennett got a drop. Mendez dropped a dime.
Yep.
And told him, it's like, look, I was going to be the hero on this thing, but I'll let you be the hero on it. Like, really, you're going to be the hero on it? You're going to be the hero by dealing the stuff, and getting more customers, more consumers strung out on your product.
It's just a way, for him now to bring down Red while he's not there.
Exactly.
So it's a great,
but also
final...
it's a way to clear his name while he's not there.
It's twofold. Yeah, it's like a way to clear himself, but it's also a way to get that final revenge on her. So.
Right, because he doesn't know what's going to go down.
And I think it was kind of stupid when he got kicked out that Red winks at him as he's walking out with his box of stuff.
Yeah,
right.
Because she should have just acted like, I don't know what's going on.
But you knew.
But that wink was like,
yeah, you knew.
I had a part to, I was a part of the reason why you're getting kicked out.
Exactly.
And that to me was
exactly. Now I knew that. That's exactly what that look was too.
Exactly.
Because
here's the thing: I don't think he would have cared anymore because he's so in love with Daya that he would not have even cared that the drugs are coming in and that Red, that his stash was still gonna come in. I don't think he would have even cared or thought about it if Red didn't do that last jab at him.
But I think it also could have been interpreted from Red as, that's what you get.
Well, that's
what goes around comes around. Doesn't mean she was a part of the setup. Otherwise, he would have suspect Daya of being part of setting him up.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like that. It was that little slap in the face as she was leaving. Not about the setup with Daya. But it was that little like, you got caught kind of thing. Now that's what that little wink was.
I see. Here's the thing. I think if you're saying that, then it's not a wink. A wink is like, I'm in on it kind of thing. That's why I felt like he did what he did. I felt like if she really wanted to do a that's what you get, she would have just been like, like, sorry, can't help you. Because that to me reads, that's, whatever.
I think he would have done it regardless because I think more of it was to get the stash out and to get it cleared. So because now he's found with something else, raping an inmate. So on top of that to find out that he's in charge and he's smuggling in drugs and everything else would have been a double count on him. So.
I don't think they would have connected him though.
But they already know. I think Caputo knows. I think Caputo pretty much knows with, the death and the suicide, the drugs. He knows Porsash has some hand in it, but he doesn't know.
I don't think he does.
I don't think he does.
And
I don't think that. I think honestly, Red would have done what she's always done when she found the drugs. She would have just tossed them in the toilet. Nobody would have ever found them. She wouldn't have allowed anybody to find them because then it looks bad on her. There's really no connection with the kitchen and porn stash. So if it's in her best interest that if another shipment comes in, I got to get rid of this stuff. So I really think that if she hadn't done that last jab at him, she probably would have been fine.
Possibly.
All right.
Yeah, well, I do agree. When I saw that, I was like, oh, she's just setting him up now because she had to do that.
Right.
But I get why she did it too. Of course, I get why she did it. I think I would have done the same thing.
She's
sort
upset
of like
that he killed Trisha.
Right.
I mean, this dude is he's pretty bad.
Oh, absolutely.
So to get rid of him, it's a victory.
Yeah,
Right.
It's a victory to get rid of porn stash.
And I think she just took that moment with that emotions and without thinking of any repercussions. She's thinking he's out. He's out of the picture. He has no power anymore.
Right.
So why not get that last little jab in?
Right.
Well, she didn't realize what it was going to do because now you've got, now she's getting kicked out because when he meets with Bennett, he then gives him the note about
give her this
wait
note for me.
Yeah.
And
Like,
then also,
seriously?
tells him about the
How
drugs.
elementary school is that? Away from me. And it was like half a piece of paper. Like, are you kidding me?
But-
Like, really? Just pass this note. Could you pass this note across the classroom
Right?
for me?
It's like in 5th grade.
I picture us going and buying sheets together. Really?
That was funny.
That was so great, though.
That was hilarious.
I've always dated women with thin lips. Like, who would have thought?
Right. What I've been missing out on. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
This guy is really something else.
He is.
He's a straight character.
That's just great. But of course, that's why Red gets kicked out the kitchen because, Bennett goes and
Bennett
confiscates the drugs
Yes,
as a superhero.
to be the hero of the day.
Right. And I do agree with Daya. I mean, she was shocked when she found out that porn stash had only been suspended and not been fired. It's like, there's politics to this here.
Of course.
So it's like, he's not going to be straight fired. There's, there's a lot of implications that that are going to happen with this situation.
Right.
So, this just goes to show you that you're thinking, okay, we're going to do this and do this and do this, and then this is what's going to happen, and everything you have to kind of adjust. Because now they're like, okay, well, he hasn't been fired. They thought he was going to be fired.
Yeah, that's one thing.
And that
part
would
of
have
their
been the
plan.
natural, right, that they thought was a natural thought, but I mean, he was caught with his pants down, literally.
Right.
So, I mean, what else would you think was going to happen? But they've got him around. It just goes to show you how corrupt this institution is.
Right.
And it's all the way from, well, we don't know if it comes from the top. And hopefully next season, this is kind of a semi-prediction. I don't know. It's not a prediction, but hopefully they introduce the warden. You know.
I'm like, I don't think they will.
Really?
I'm sticking to that. I still feel like that's part of the thing where you just don't get to see that
I have
character.
a great prediction. So I'll save it for the end.
Yes, please.
Is that gonna be your prediction for season 3 now?
No, season 2.
So now Red has to. She's lost everything. Like the kitchen was everything to her.
Oh yeah,
Right.
she's lost her power.
Right. So
Yeah.
now that she doesn't have the kitchen, and Gloria and her staff have taken over, I mean, Caputo has no choice but, you know, and plus the pressure's on him. He wants to take opportunities to step his game up to show Fig, like, look, I'm handling this place and I can do this and I can do A, B, and C and I can police this joint without, you know, more than you think. He has a lot to prove himself. It's so funny. He's sitting there sharpening his pencils, and with the old school, he doesn't even have you don't have an electric sharpener.
Right.
Like, is all the budget money gone?
I know. There's like no mechanical pencils. Like you really have the old school yellow.
Old school, and he's really old school ashtray.
The mechanical,
Right.
the mechanical, yeah.
But he's so passive aggressive because, of course, as Fig walks out, you know, to tell him about we got to cover this up. You know, it looks bad. All this stuff. He throws it
pencil.
after she leaves.
After she leaves, because she's his
so
superior.
passive aggressive.
Well, he can't. Like, sometimes I'm watching the show and you just want to tell that person, like, shut the. You should have told them to shut the hell up, or, you know, get out of your face, but they just can't.
Right.
Because, you know, that would change the dynamic of somebody coming after you and blah blah blah. So. Poor Caputo. His balls are in a vice when it comes to her.
Oh, they are.
It really
She
sucks.
holds them
Very tight.
Yeah,
in her hand, like
like right.
squeezing them.
So Bennett grabs these drugs, and this is something that we mentioned last episode.
That spoiler alert again.
I spoiled. It was my
We all-
bad, guys. My bad. You guys can call in and cuss me out if you want. 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
I encourage you to take advantage of that.
Yes.
You get to hear that. So.
Won't happen too often. But this is the episode where Figueroa and Bennett met. And she tells him, look, we want to handle this way, not handle it that way. You're going to get a $130 increase in your salary every
so
month.
sad.
That is.
And, you know.
Because it's in their advantage not to say anything, not
Right.
for him to not write a report.
Well, technically, which is really funny, technically, if he didn't find the drugs or uncover the drugs or discover the drugs on the Litchfield property or premises, then the drugs were actually, he found them off-site, and brought them in.
Yeah.
He didn't find them in the kitchen.
No,
he didn't find them in the grounds.
You're right. It was a very good point that she brought up, which I thought, you know what? She's actually right in a very, you know, he obviously knew they were there.
There
at
was
the
no
loading
stops,
dock.
right? He was like, there's no stops between the front gate. And,
But she brought
I
up,
actually thought
we
she
don't
was
know
going to
that.
put a twist on it and frame it on him.
Which is
no,
what
she inferred that.
She inferred that. That's what she
Yeah.
said, and that's where that you know, it's sort of like keep it quiet. You're not going to say anything,
Right.
and by him accepting this extra $130, it's a way of saying, okay, now you can't.
Like, take your salary and shut up.
Yeah, like now you can't say anything because now you're accepting the money as saying, like, you know. But I did think that was a really interesting way she twisted that around, because in a way she was correct. if
She
you were
was
gonna go
rewarding
legally.
him for doing a good job.
But
she talked to him like he was a kindergarten
She
kid.
did, but that's the thing. But by her saying that now you're taking this money, it kind of says that now he can't go and say anything about this anymore because he's now accepted this money as a, you know, sort of like hush money, but in a legal way
She said,
there.
I know that your intentions are good. You're a good officer or whatever. Blah blah blah. So
You're a
she
good
knows,
person, John.
Right? He's like really simple.
Right.
This guy, he has a really simple thinking pattern. It's like, you're talking to or dealing with the kid.
Yeah, but she was smart. She's so freaking smart.
Right.
Right, for saying that. And then, of course, that's in direct contrast of what Caputo wants, which is we got to write the report.
Yeah.
We got to blow this up because this is going to, make us look great.
Right.
And
It's going to make him look great. He said, look.
Right.
Yeah, he wants to be
said,
the hero now, too.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, well, you write it and I'll submit it.
Yeah.
So,
undercover, we found it. And,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which was really smart on Caputo's behalf because if he submits the report,
then it's out of, Bennett
It's
can be
out
like,
of
well, I
Bennett's-
didn't do it.
Yeah.
right, Bennett could say, I didn't write the report.
Right.
Caputo did.
And it gives him the credit of being like the hero of the day by finding this and stopping it. And, so everyone has their motivations and their intentions. And,
Hopefully they pick this up. Like, hopefully next season they pick it up where it left off, as opposed to how sometimes it's
they
like
move ahead.
They move ahead like, oh, it's been like another 8 months
Yeah.
already.
Right. I don't think they're going to do that.
I don't think they will either because there's too many things like that that would be
Yeah.
unresolved. And I think even if they did do that, they're going to have to answer those questions of what happened with that. You
Right.
can't just leave that hanging there like
Right.
that.
And they're very good writers.
Yeah,
They've done
so.
good thus far.
Right.
So.
They've
Yeah, I agree. I don't-
done us proud.
Yes, I don't think they're going to leave us just with that because there's too much with that storyline to let that part go.
Yeah.
And then of course, that without, I guess that's why Red can still stay there, because if she's doing something that horrible, which is like actually bringing drugs into the facility, she probably would have to go down the hill.
Yep.
She wouldn't still be there. So it's good if they don't submit the report. Then she can stay there, even though she's not working the kitchen.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Latinas are making the spicy eggs.
The spicy.
Well, it was funny because she
Those
made that
eggs were
whole
good.
she made that whole stereotypical comment too about them, about they just pop out of the car and then all of a sudden they learn how to fry an egg. She's like, oh, God bless America. I was like, so.
That
I was like,
funny.
dang, girl, just go right with it.
Harsh.
Right. Like, you're an immigrant too.
Right?
Wait a
Exactly.
second
Come on.
here.
Like,
Yeah,
you're
but you're really American, all right?
right. Come on.
I know. I really thought that was funny that you see the difference, especially with they're making how the kitchen was run before. It was like your typical kitchen, and now you've got the Latinas, and then they're like, oh, we're making we're
Family
making
style.
tamales. This is like family
Yeah.
style. I know everybody's like, yo, this food is like awesome.
Real good.
And they're having fun in
Yeah.
the kitchen versus
They're
you know,
dancing.
Yeah.
Like a dance moves.
being with Red. It's so
Right.
everything
Like
is
regimented.
It's a
Yes.
regimen, yeah. And it also goes to show that I really liked how they made Gloria like savvy to
Right.
what was going on in the
Yeah.
kitchen.
Made her very savvy and
took,
smart.
what are the two? The
Murphy.
Romano,
Murphy and
Romano,
Romano.
and has them doing like grunt work, like stacking boxes and stuff.
Right.
They're not doing anything as far as the food is concerned because Gloria is smart enough to know it's like that's Red.
Those are the
That's
Red
Red's crew.
holdovers, yeah.
Yeah, so they'll come in here
But
and
she was
try
nice
to
enough to
sabotage the
keep them
food.
still.
Yeah.
Right, because that was a good job. And she said, "You guys know your stuff, so
Well,
don't go down with Red."
Well, I mean, it benefits her to keep them around because
Right.
they are familiar with the kitchen.
Right.
They're used to seeing them there. They would want to stay there, and it would behoove them to stay there. So that's kind of like leverage that Gloria has now in her favor.
Right.
To, it wouldn't make sense to bring somebody new in.
But it just
Right.
it's just so sad how it all turns out for Red.
Right.
How the tables have turned because now
Oh,
she
yeah.
and in Murphy and Romano's defense, they really didn't want to mess anything up. They're like, look, we can't. She runs a tight ship. Gloria does good. She runs a tight ship. Sorry, we can't really mess it up. And so Red takes it upon herself, and I think it's her fault, of course, that Murphy is now burnt up because she
Right.
greased
She
the
greased the
oven.
oven.
Yeah, she
But
goes in the middle of the night to do all this stuff. Like she
Right.
added the salt to the rice, and she's putting all the grease in the oven.
But she deserves the fact that now everybody's against her, including silent Romano, who goes
Right.
R.E.D.
yeah.
Right.
I felt that in my spirit, Romano. I felt that
she's
anger,
being-
that silent anger.
Now she's
silent
being
treatment.
starved. So
She is. She's being starved out now.
We said it about Mendez. Karma is
Right.
a big B, but now it's coming back to Red because she did the same thing to
She
Piper.
did.
We've seen her,
other
take
people,
to
yeah.
other
Absolutely.
people, and she really, really enforced her power.
Yep.
And she wasn't too far off from the POs and from everyone else in authority at Litchfield.
Absolutely.
So now she's in line with them as well.
It is interesting. It goes back to the whole thing about when people have too much power and
Right.
Absolute
they end
power.
up falling and
What is the
with
statement?
the ego. I know. I'm trying to think of it right now.
Absolute
It's totally
power.
forgetting it now.
Corrupts absolutely. I believe that's what it is.
Sounds good.
Something goes like that.
We'll go with
It
it.
rhymes.
But yeah,
You
but
guys can correct me on that too
but-
if I got that statement wrong.
But I know, but it's that whole thing and how she really fell so far, and there she was now being starved out like
With
she'd
her
done
ramen
everyone
noodles?
else.
Ramen noodles.
Yeah, in the microwave. Oh man, how far she has fallen.
Right.
Well, I liked how Gloria got Romano and Murphy in the what was that, the pantry or whatever, and she corners them.
I have 4 kids. I know.
I know every trick. I have 4 kids. Blah 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 blah. It's like you guys will not be able to pull anything over on me, and I'm glad they made Gloria in charge of the kitchen because she's the one you absolutely believe could run that joint.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna be able to pull anything over on her. And then when Murphy gets burnt, Caputo comes in there and it's like, what is the deal with the kitchen? And loose check is like, it was not an electrical fire. It looks like it was just a typical grease fire. You guys aren't cleaning this kitchen down. Like, you guys supposed to clean everything down. He said, oh, it was clean.
So
I know.
that's how she knew.
And she looks at it, and Caputo's like, okay, something's going on. I'm going to let them figure it out.
Right.
So.
But poor little Murphy.
No.
He's burnt up.
Poor little Murphy.
I know. I wonder how bad it was. I mean, because that's something we didn't get to know.
That's a real burn.
I think they alluded to it that it was pretty bad.
Yeah, they did, but just
I think
wondering.
it was her arm. I think her arm.
That's what I'm saying. But was in her clavicle.
Clavicle, yeah.
But I'm wondering,
how does Flocka know what a clavicle is? I was impressed. Flocka, you go, girl. You're smarter than you look.
Right.
She's a clavicle.
And you also see how Bennett, he jumps to protect Daya when the fire.
Yes.
Is on.
Yeah.
That was, very
corny.
As much as mad as he was, he still has,
Definitely.
he still loves her and has a soft spot for
Definitely,
her.
and he also knows that, his baby's there too. So
Baby mama.
That's right. So
I'm
gotta
like-
But he
protect.
was a real
gotta protect both of
a-hole
them.
throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, he's a
when
little
they're
jackass.
practicing and dancing and singing, he's like, get back to work. Like, really?
But I mean,
Really?
they're
Who's
supposed
going to pay attention to you when everyone
No.
knows?
He's,
I know.
he's everybody in that kitchen knows what's up.
Exactly.
They do.
And he's being a jackass just to be a jackass
Right.
because he's
Tell your
upset that
boyfriend.
it's like, why. She's explained to you why and what the situation is, and you know what the implications are if this doesn't go how it's supposed to go. So
Right.
why are you being a jackass to her?
Because his
Right.
feelings are hurt.
She's
Exactly.
in
He's
jail.
emotional right now.
They're in prison. This is not an ideal scenario for love.
Prison love. It's real.
So,
it's real, Thaddeus.
go man up and deal with it. I mean, my whole thing is just like man up and deal with it.
Right.
You chose to go in that closet.
And this just goes to show his boyish nature. I mean, dude, like, she's locked up. You're not using protection or,
Yeah.
like, double bag
already
it. Something.
Yeah. No, it was dumb decision making.
Slip her the pill, like, under, like, do something. Like, I just think.
Of course, but of course he's going to be upset because again he's jealous and he's.
It's
upset
great story writing,
you
though.
know, it is. It's brilliant and it's great, but because you had to do something there to add that extra little twist. But of course he is. He's jealous.
boyish,
He's
though.
angry. He's
They're keeping that consistent.
Yeah.
The boyishness.
And
He's
I think
very, like.
because he's
that's
young and
I think
dumb.
his actions and the way he's acting and playing like he's mad or something is going to burn the story, and they're going to find out through him, not necessarily through Daya or Porn Stash, because he's giving it away.
Exactly, and you brought up a good point because it's exactly like I know that plan is going to completely fall through spectacularly,
Right.
and I think I mentioned that a couple of episodes ago that I think in the predictions that he's going to end up not necessarily even him, but he's definitely going to be found out that it was him and his kid. And
well, you can see in the kitchen when that happened, he was rubbing Daya's face, and Caputo was like, "Bennett, like get over here."
Yeah.
He got caught, like.
But he didn't even, if you notice, Caputo didn't even mention it.
no.
He saw it though.
He saw it.
saw
and it
it,
was,
but-
and they
He said, I need to talk to
It was
you.
so
Right.
quick.
But I thought when he saw Bennett do that, I thought when he wanted to pull him to the side and talk to him, I thought it was because it's like, yo, why are you putting your hand on this chick's cheek? But it really, he's just like, look, yeah, I saw it, but whatever. You know, like he didn't even address it. He just wanted to know
But it's one of
where is the
Well, he's
the report, because he's more concerned with like the drug stuff.
Yes, but when this comes up later, those are the kind of things that people put one
Right.
one and one together, and they're
Right.
like,
They start putting the
okay,
puzzle together
right.
and like, wait a minute, this was happening at that time.
Right.
Okay.
So they definitely wanted us, the audience, to see that Caputo noticed it,
Right.
and he didn't address it because there's more pressing issues right now.
Exactly.
But
until that becomes the pressing
exactly
issue.
until and then maybe
Season
see
2.
something else or whatever to add to that.
I think they're very careless. The way they just do everything
Yeah.
and kissing in the yard. You don't know who's
Sure.
watching.
Definitely.
Passing notes. You don't know who's going to pick it up. If your mom was able to track you and find the note and read it, who else is able to do
Right.
it?
Exactly.
touching the chick's cheek. What?
well, in the defense of the mama knows her, so the mom is.
Yeah, but you have so many enemies in there that anyone can go after you to try to sabotage you.
And you just are careless, like you said. Someone drops a note or something, or sees something, or any like the whole time where he was kind of, you know, with Caputo finding them doing that. Like, who's to say who else could find out? You know, silly.
What about Burset and the nun planning this Christmas program?
Oh, they're so cute. They're
I know.
I like all these little couples of friends.
I know, I do too. I think it's great.
Episode, we had Yoga Jones and Janae.
Yeah.
Now, you know, we've got Burset and the nun. They're besties. Like, that's so cute.
They're planning the pageant together.
Piper with
Nobody
now.
Right.
She's actually with Tasty, you know, and
at the table.
She with the black girl.
Yeah,
exactly.
she was.
I love that.
I did too.
Piper is part of the black girl.
Yeah.
Those are her friends now.
Yeah, that was. I
You
love
can
how they
take
did that.
her, girl.
Yeah.
She a little bitty thing.
Yeah.
You can take her.
I don't like it. They're giving her points on how to punch her vagina.
Right.
So great, and they all call it like something different.
Black Cindy was like, it hurts just as bad on a girl as it does on a guy. Just right in the poo-tang.
I feel like the black girls are like the comic relief. They're so funny, and like the stuff that they say is off the wall, but it's actually
it's on point.
Basis in truth.
You could take Kentucky.
Based in truth.
Yeah, Pennsatucky's like as big as this mug right here. She's like so tiny. But she's becoming.
She's wiring full of energy there. So.
She's becoming very ominous here with the razor, the homemade
oh my god,
knives and cornering Piper in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, but before that, we the nun and what the nun and Burset talk about, which is now her son is writing.
Yeah, that was a sweet moment.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think it's good. I think it's a good way to end at least this season for Sophia Burset. Is maybe her son is coming too.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll actually come and visit her.
Yeah, that would be great.
And
I think it's coming around and
next season,
letting that all soak in.
Great.
Yeah, so I love that moment. I love that moment that they shared together too. I thought that was really cool. So that was nice to see the progress.
And Pennsatucky, I will say this.
oh my god,
She tried. She did try. She tried to help.
Try to help
be
Piper.
Piper's friend, help her ask the Lord for forgiveness.
Oh yeah, so
Which
call
Piper
Mr.
did,
Christ.
She prayed to Mr. Christ and asked for.
Yes,
That was
very
so
pushy.
funny.
Like she should have done it. But the point is,
That was kind of familiar. Kind of familiar, don't you think? Jesus, kind of familiar.
Right, like, you don't tell nobody how to pray, but
Not on a first name basis yet.
At least she was, trying to be friends with her. She was in her pushy
Well, in her
little
crazy mind, she thought she was
way.
helping her.
Right. But at least she wasn't. At first she was like, I don't want to forgive her. I don't like this girl. I hate her guts. But at least she was like,
on her terms. She forgave her on her terms.
Right, exactly, which is not okay. But I like the fact that she at least tried in her weird evangelical far right way.
Well, she's kind of required to based on
what she believes.
Right.
Or based on the funds that are keeping.
Right. And I'm sorry, that baptism though, and that disgusting water.
That dirty water.
Oh,
that mucky.
She said we cleaned it out.
We cleaned it out and it was all mucky.
So gross.
It was like, what was it like before?
Isn't it against her religion to kill someone, or to she has a razor
No,
she's gonna kill?
It's not against her religion to smite.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's the thing.
In the name of the Lord.
Yep.
She's doing that because this is God's work. This
right.
is God's will to kill you, demon woman.
Non-believer, evil person. Yeah.
Right.
See, sometimes she's like, you're like, oh, okay, Pennsatucky, blah, blah, blah. And then she gets into that extremist nature, and you're like, ugh. You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I love how all of her followers, even in the baptism scene, they're just kind of like, well, I mean, I have questions too.
But that's what instigated the whole she disrespected me, because now she has got her followers questioning, doubting their beliefs, and that's her crew.
Right, and it's very deep for her because she attributes Piper being the reason why she stopped believing in God for that moment. She felt like God wasn't there for her.
Right.
So, of course, that's really deep when you get into somebody's religion and you change their whole thinking about life. And so she's like, yo, this woman is pure evil. She had me completely doubting what I said I believed in. Now she's gotten
until the attorney came to visit her and gave her the Bible verse and said, look, you're not going to go untested. Whatever Bible verse it was, I think it was Matthew 5 something or another, but the verse was saying basically it's not an easy road.
Right.
And so,
which is why she tried to forgive her and she tried to be nice to her.
So she tried to.
But now she's at the point of like, oh, yo, this is like a demon lady. She's got to be killed. Right. She's got to get out of here because she's now. Not only did she almost have me completely, not thinking God is real. She got my followers over here questioning.
That means she has some powerful evil.
Right.
The devil is working through her.
Fight this demon. So I just think that is funny because she really, and so this is what kicks Tiffany Pennsatucky into her crazy mode of we have to literally kill her.
Right.
Kill. And the rat, by the way, was funny.
The rat was.
Oh my God!
The rat was funny. The rat on Piper's right.
Yeah.
Right.
And Amalekite. You're something Amalekite.
That was so.
She's what's her name?
Tasty
is so smart. She's like she clearly didn't spell your correct. It's your.
Yeah.
Y-O-U.
But it's also showing how smart Tasty really is, and just giving her that moment again.
Right.
Amalekite.
Yeah,
and of course,
what's
Big
an Amalekite?
Cindy.
Big Cindy knew what it was. Came over.
Right.
So the wuzzers and the izzers and the she was that whole thing.
Right. That's funny.
Yeah, that was great. Because I didn't really know what Amalekite was either.
I know, you had to look it up. It's like, Amalekite. How you spell that? She probably spelled it wrong too, though.
No, she spelled it right. I'm surprised
she spelled Amalekite right, but she got your wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
Horrible.
That's what I'm saying.
Malachite sounds like seafood to me or something. Like something that's what it sounded like at first. And I'm like, what is
Malachite
that?
Tonight.
Yeah, like it's a special side of fresh vegetables.
Shrimp au du jour and a Malachite.
Choice baked potato.
Amalekite sauce. I'm gonna have the Amalekite, please. So she's gone off on the deep end, and
she tries to kill her.
She tries to get her.
Back.
She's got the razor.
Right. In the shower.
The shank.
Fronts her in the shower.
Fronts her in the shower. Got her followers. They got the shower blocked off.
Yeah. Kicked everyone else out.
I'm sorry, but Tasty could have taken that girl.
Oh yeah.
Tasty could have.
Well, that's what
her in the head.
I actually was going to say that. Like that was interesting that she saw what was going on and then she just turned around and walked out. Like what? Why was the reason? I think she went to go
tell the guard. Like they're not letting me take a shower.
Okay,
because the guard came next.
Yeah, he knew that they weren't supposed to be in there. And how else would he have known that?
Okay, that's true. Because he did come in. Because I was wondering, I'm like, why did she just leave instead of doing something? I guess she figured it was easier for her to go get the guard and not get involved.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there's politics to this stuff.
Yeah. It is.
Because I did wonder.
Everybody's all sectioned off into there because now you don't want to start a race war and all this other kind of stuff. So she was like, "Oh,
it's Piper's fight. She has to fight the fight."
Yeah.
Literally, this.
That was
creepy though. The way Kentucky slices her hand open.
She cuts her arm
and rubs the blood on her.
That is disgusting. That made my screen.
Me too.
I couldn't watch it. I was like, ugh.
That was awful. That was very
creepy.
She's on the deep end now.
Yeah.
She's really.
Yeah, she's already flipped to that side.
Well, the meds and being down in the psych, I think, really got to her.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that was definitely freaky.
Right. And then we see and then of course we see the pageant.
Yes, the pageant. But before we get to the pageant,
okay, I love.
Let's talk about
the pageant too.
Piper and Larry.
Oh yes.
So, Piper and Larry are going through troubled waters once again. And this is what I brought up last episode, right? About Alex meeting Larry, but that was actually this episode.
We all thought I know, so...
sorry, guys.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically this is when Larry gets this revelation about Piper's character, so to speak, and he learns more of... His eyes are open a little bit more about what he's actually dealing with, the kind of person. He was actually able to put a face with the name with Alex, get some idea of the kind of person or individual she is,
right?
Because she's always been kind of this ominous figure who's threatened his relationship with Piper, and now he sees it. Maybe it's like he's like, she's really effed up. You don't know her. She's really Piper's the one that's effed up.
Right.
It's like he's like, you can have her. Alex is like, you can have her. Like, go ahead. So that kind of leaves it.
It's a long time coming. A long time coming. There's only so much you can sweep under the rug before the dirt starts to show, and so this is definitely the pinnacle of that.
Right.
Yeah,
and
that dirt is starting to show, and also I think it's between that and already his own insecurities with the relationship and his parents. I mean, I think it all just added up to the point where it was like, okay.
What was the final straw for him, though? I can't remember. What was the final straw for him?
I think this was
that was the meeting when she says that.
Because
And
he
I
told
think
her, because Larry was telling Alex, telling Alex, we're getting married.
Right.
And blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
But I think after leaving there, he probably put 2 and 2 together, what his parents were saying about her and what Alex is now revealing about Piper. It's not the person he knows or he thought he knew.
Yeah.
So, and just every single time she calls, it's about something that happened to her in Litchfield. And I think he's getting really tired of hearing that, how she's a victim and
she's starting it. She's the reason this is happening.
she's starting it. So I think he's just really tired and he truly needs time to think through everything and see if this is going to work out or not.
And I think also Alex's reaction too.
Right.
Besides just saying that, because I think maybe when he was going and meeting her, maybe he was going to see, oh, she's really into Piper. And,
Right.
the fact that she just kind of blew it off and was like, yeah, no, I'm done with her kind of thing. You can have her. Great. Congratulations. Like, I think that also made him think like, oh, wow. Okay. Right. Now that she's totally blowing her off here.
Right.
Maybe I've got to think about this a little bit more as well too.
Well,
but I don't think. But the way it came off to me when they were on the phone and Piper's telling him all this stuff is that he's done with her. Like this is it. There is no coming back from this.
Yeah.
There's no we're just taking a break. I feel like he's like, no, we're done.
That's how I took it too. Basically, that's how I think they let us to feel that way.
She felt like that too.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like the only thing that's really her fault, and I blame her for it, even though he has a major part to play in it, is the whole Alex thing. Everything else that's happened to her and she's told him over the phone isn't really her fault. I mean, Pennsatucky, trying to kill her.
But I think, that comes from somewhere deeper, and I think that's the whole point that she doesn't see. She doesn't ever see that.
She's a drama magnet, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
She
and
is.
So you're the reason why Pennsatucky's trying to kill you is because you made people think she was crazy and had her put in psych and did all this stuff. So that's why I think now he's starting to see, it's all because of you.
Yeah, and that there's all this continuous drama in there that she's attracting and
then of course him hanging out with Cal is validating this.
And that too. That too. Good
escaping, that has nothing to do with Litchfield whatsoever. Right. This is a Piper thing.
Yeah.
So you can guarantee and rest assured there will be more drama once Litchfield is over and she's done with Litchfield and she's done her time. There's going to be more drama because that's what Piper is. She's a drama magnet.
Right.
And they say, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It's like that whole mean girls frenemy type of, I didn't do anything, but blah, blah, blah. Like, but yeah, you're happen to be in the middle of it every time there's something going on.
Right. And then, of course, after she gets done talking to him, and you can feel this sadness come over her because she knows it's over.
Well, what that was also. Didn't Alex break up with her already? So Alex was like, if this is over, like she said, I choose Larry. It's like no more coming back.
Yeah.
No more. We're done. That's it.
You can't come in for all your problems. It can't be your pinky.
Right.
She tries to.
So that's why when Larry dumped her,
she goes running to Alex.
Right. So when Larry dumped her, that's when the rubber meets the road. It's like, I am alone.
Nobody.
Really alone. And it all comes to a head this episode. She sinks to the lowest of the lows of this whole season during this episode.
And I actually like that Alex didn't talk to her and take her back because she stood up for what she said.
Exactly.
This is it. There's no going back. And it proved Larry's point and it proved Alex's point that she just doesn't want to be alone. It's not that she's into one or the other. She just doesn't want to be alone.
I know.
And she can't make up her mind.
Yeah, Alex is now with her new boo.
Yeah.
She was petrified too. Like she was scared. Like I don't have anybody type of thing. Let's jump into the Christmas program really quickly because we only have a couple minutes left. The Christmas program, there was like some realizations you saw that Piper had while she was sitting there about how everybody there is finding some redemption, and they have eye-opening qualities, their virtues, that they're taking the best out of their situation to learn from it. And that's kind of what you can read from some of the songs that were sung and how it was being. And Piper is just now, she's like behind. It's like she's in a class, but she's behind in class, and she needs to catch up on her homework and all that, and everybody else is kind of ahead of her and developmentally. And she just couldn't take it, and she storms out. So that was kind of...
Yeah, but hold on. But before that, though, Caputo talks to Healy.
No, you mean Caputo talks to Fisher.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Talks to
And
Fisher.
it meets Fisher's boyfriend.
Yeah, that was
funny.
awkward.
That was really awkward that he bought her flowers, though. Because, you know, he was, of course, she had the neck thing with Claudette, but still, like, why would you bring her flowers in public?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All
That was
of
a
your inmates can see.
weird thing to do at that time. Obviously, yeah, he was trying to make his move there, but
make his move.
really bad timing. Regardless if she had a boyfriend or not, that just wasn't the
Bad
place.
timing was
Right.
Fig trying to put Healy in place
Exactly.
because
Oh yeah.
any sympathy
Ooh.
he had for Piper,
Yes.
he
Yes.
just completely turned the
Yes.
face.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, and I mean, he's still obviously is still furious with Piper because earlier in the episode he has that whole comment to her, you know, when she approaches him about, what was it, something with the marriage form or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, and you're the words that you use so eloquently, yes."
Right. And so, I mean,
Go after yourself.
But
Yeah.
he has such a big insecurity when it comes to his wife and her.
Well, Red is like doing the interpretation, which is
Yeah. that was great.
They're over here having like marriage counseling with Red.
You gotta get a pedicure. buddy.
Get
You gotta
his
get a pedicure.
toenails.
Yeah, he's so insecure with it. So, of course, when Fig says something to him about his mail order bride, you need therapy.
And the lesbian witch hunt.
Right.
Like, basically calls him out on all the things that we've actually been talking about all season long, right there.
It just fuels
And
the
threatened
fire
his job
even
too,
more.
did she? She like threatened his job as well.
Right.
Like,
yeah, don't ever,
Call an inmate's
talk to an inmate's family
or
again.
nothing.
right.
Yeah, that was
So you've got
all
Piper,
these things now.
coming down, and then the season finale, and Piper had to take a breather. She had to take a walk. She had to get out of there. She's taking a breather.
Hold on, wait. You gotta talk about the pageant really quick.
Really quick, like
Okay, because something happened important. Romano sings.
Yes, I know. I love
that's
that.
true.
That was a great
Yes,
moment.
That's big. The whole she's
That's
never
true.
spoken.
Yes.
And we hear she has the most
and then she has
amazing
this
voice.
great voice. I know that was. I love that moment so much.
she reminded me of what's the British lady from Britain's Got Talent?
Susan Boyle.
Susan Boyle. She reminded me of
there
Susan
you go.
Boyle right
So
there.
good.
And she was like in her own zone. It was like
Right.
she was singing by herself,
Yeah.
and she opened her eyes like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm singing in front of everybody."
Right.
kind
That
of
was
thing.
so
But she kept
great.
singing. It was
Crazy
really good.
eyes, like
Yeah.
clammed
Start
up.
slapping herself in the head. They're like, chill out. It's okay.
Okay, now we can talk about
Yes,
Piper.
but that was a really great moment.
That was
It was.
that
It
was
was.
great.
I had to
That was
say that.
awesome.
But what was great was getting that Christmas gift. I think that really saved her and helped her
Right,
out.
from Boo.
From Boo.
Oh yeah.
Screwdriver.
Yeah, here you go, you ho ho ho.
But in the end, she didn't need it.
She didn't need it. She had these. She did
She
what the, she did
duked
what
it
the
up.
black girls
Yeah.
told her.
She
did.
did. Kicked her in the punani, gave her the elbow to the back, and whipped her tail.
Right.
I mean, whipped her.
Well, I mean,
good.
so she comes out. She sees Tiffany sees her.
Tiffany sees her
her
exit.
exit.
So she's like, "This is my
She's
opportunity."
like, "There we go out in the back there, and take care of business."
And
And
Healy's not helping.
And
Nope.
she has the wooden cross,
Healy
like she's a
completely ignores her.
vampire or something.
Yeah, with the point at the end.
I'm like, oh my gosh, she's
know.
a nut.
Oh my
crazy.
god.
And then she's switching it. It's like, wait.
Yeah.
And she's trying. It's like, what are you doing? She's not a vampire. Like, in that case. But I do love how Piper, everything culminated right there.
Absolutely, you saw everything, just all the things that she was dealing
Yes.
with all at once.
And then having somebody wipe their blood on you,
Yeah.
and then she cut her, and you could see, she cut her open, and now she's bleeding. She's like, this is a life or death situation.
Right.
Like, she really does want to,
Yeah.
it's
And-
like, and plus with everything else going on, she
protecting her.
lost
Oh,
it.
absolutely.
She beat the bejesus.
Ooh, that was an
Yes.
intense.
The
bejesus.
Intense is all intense.
And I do love how they put it in slow mo.
Right.
And then they're playing the Christmas music in the
Yes.
background, so all the cheerful music. I forget what that's called. I don't know if anyone knows what that's called. When you're doing like having happy music or happy things going on while something bad is going on at the same time.
Yeah, there's a name for
there
it.
is a name for that. I can't think of it. But anyway, so we've got the Christmas music going on, and there she is, just beating the living
Pounding
crap
her.
out of her.
Like I mean, if I didn't know that Piper was going to come back next season, I would say that she's probably going to. It looks like she
Yeah.
would have killed Tiffany.
Yeah,
That would be great.
It was great. I mean, you
Oh.
go to fade to orange right there, and it was like, woof, that was it.
But I think it was about time that she stepped up and
Right.
proved herself, who she is, and
She
what
has some stripes now.
She'd kill her.
And
needs
she just
to
had to let all that emotion
Anger.
out and anger out that all just culminated, like you were saying, all at once, and
Yeah.
it just let itself out
Yeah,
right
she
there.
exploded.
I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
I ain't help, but don't push me.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
mean,
let's
shows that happen to anybody, put in the right
Addiction.
position.
let's go.
I know, Emma's ready.
Let's go. Wait, do we have any news and gossip first? Any news and gossip?
Nope.
AfterBuzz.
Nope. Predictions.
No predictions? Okay,
predictions.
no predictions.
before I forget.
Juicy predictions.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV
Okay, it only seems fitting that we let Emma K go first on predictions for season 2 of Orange is the New Black. Emma K, go.
So to go off of what Scott said, I'm gonna say that we're not gonna see the warden because Fig is going to be the new warden, and she's gonna be empowered and somehow blame the whole drugs and everything going on the warden to get him kicked out because she has this whole smuggling and, like, you know, taking money and all the stuff that she's doing. She needs to cover it up somehow, and by being warden, because now Piper's not talking to Larry, so Larry can't set things straight on the media. Okay. So she needs to take cover and take charge somehow.
Okay. Next scoop, prediction season 2.
I like that.
I'm going to go with Daya. I'm going to say that Daya is... I don't think Daya's going to have the baby. I think at the end of the season...
Miscarriage?
She's going to have a miscarriage. Something's going to happen. She's not going to have the baby.
I don't know. I think I still think she's going to have the baby. I think it's going to fall disastrously, the plan with Porn Stash, and Bennett's going to get caught. And I don't think Punxsutawney is dead. I think she's... Pennsatucky. I keep saying Punxsutawney.
He said Punxsutawney.
I know. I'll never get that right. But yeah, she's not going to be dead. She has exactly like the groundhog, but she's like a groundhog. She's going to be severely injured. Obviously, that's going to add time to... Piper, so that'll keep that going there. And I don't know, Alex, maybe she gets out in the first or second episode since they keep saying she's leaving.
Well, I think
maybe her term is over. I don't know.
I think Nikki and Alex are going to start seeing each other.
Yeah,
it's like
definitely.
Obviously we see some kind of relationship culminating with that. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Red. I definitely want to see. I think they're going to get into Crazy Eyes' backstory.
Yes,
please.
Most definitely.
Please.
And I think we're going to see a warden, but I'm not sure. We may not. Who knows?
But I think we're not going to see the warden ever.
Hopefully they'll see one, but there's definitely going to be an investigation because we saw this this reporter who was starting to dig and found out that there was 2.3 added to the budget in the last 5 years.
Right.
So that is going to stir up a lot of stuff. Somebody has to answer to that. Most definitely. That's probably going to be one of the biggest things because that affects how the prison is run and everything, like the track and every blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And my other prediction is that we will be back for season 2 of Orange is the New Black, Netflix's original series. I'm your host, Thaddeus Massey, and where can we find you guys?
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at RealEmmaK.
Always hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Meg Scoop, like a scoop of ice cream.
And I'm on Twitter at SMan80, that's SMan80.
And I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Club Thaddeus. Thank you guys for being with us this season for the first season of Netflix original series Orange is the New Black finale. See you next season, season 2. Peace.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily...
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.